So the big question is this: how do most agents who struggle to get the information that most successful agents hoard to themselves grow and prosper without this information? That's the big question, and this video cast is the answer. Welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. I'm your host, Pat Hyben. And now, for the review of the day. Got a 5-star review from Panjasaret. He said, I love this podcast. I listen to it every day. Interviews are packed with value. State of the Market with Kevin Kaufman and Pat Hyben. Great project. Please be careful who you ask to be the co-host. State of the Market 19. Yes. Okay. Panjasaret was talking about episode 19. That was with Benjamin Bressington. He did not agree with what Remax had done with Redfin. Said it was short-sighted. And I think that threw a couple people off. So, okay. Keep the comments coming, guys. I love them. And remember, I eat feedback for breakfast. So give me a 1-star review if you want, or a 5-star review if you want. I don't care. And the more reviews we get, the better guests we get. So please, subscribe first, and then leave us a review or wherever you're listening.
Welcome, Rockstar Nation. Thanks for tuning into the State of the Market podcast with your host, Pat Hyben and Kevin Kaufman.
All right, Rockstar Nation, welcome to State of the Market. I'm here with my co-host, Kevin Kaufman. Kevin.
What is going on, brother? How are you doing?
Good, buddy. Congratulations. I saw some news. I'll bring it up. I know you didn't ask me to bring this up, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. See, your podcast, Next Level Agents, was recommended, nominated for the Inman what is it? Some Inman Award, right?
They call it the Innovator Award.
Innovator.
I don't know if it's innovative or not, but I'll take it. Right? You know, having fun with the podcast and learned a lot of that from you, my man. So I appreciate the nod.
Yeah, I'm pissed off. I don't know why I never got nominated for that. Just doesn't make any sense. I guess did you have to apply for that?
No, you know what? I noticed. So I've been watching this whole Innovator thing the last few years that they've done it. And they have some sort of nomination process. To be honest, I don't know what it is. I saw that there was a Facebook post inside one of their groups where there was a bunch of people in there, and a few friends had recommended me because they had specifically asked about podcasts. So I've never noticed them do a podcast category before. I'm not sure what's innovative about a podcast other than having great guests. Who knows?
That's not innovative. That's shit that started with Johnny Carson. I mean,
right?
Howard Stern did that on radio. I mean, but anyways, all right. Well, listen, if you're listening out there, you got an inside scoop, nominate me, please. This world is not fair. Let's talk to some news here. Let's talk news. First thing is about NAR. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but National Association of Realtors has an investment arm. They call it the Family of Strategic Investments. And they've been pumping out money lately. Just made a new investment. Talk to me about that, Kevin.
Yeah, so Propy, which is I guess the word that is used today is called prop tech. It's a real estate platform that is really, the goal is to kind of digitalize and streamline transactions, which I don't know how many.
What's prop tech? I never even heard of that term.
Prop tech is just a term that they're using for technologies like this. I don't know. I didn't make it up, man. It's one of those new words that didn't exist a few years ago.
Oh, property technology.
Yeah, maybe that's what it stands for.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Propy is this platform that it's, of course, like so many others, aiming to digitalize and streamline the transaction using things like blockchain and eventually cryptocurrency, things like that, as this world just continues to change and as money changes. Obviously, the way we buy and sell things will keep changing, and real estate is definitely in the middle of, probably more like in the beginning, but in the middle of the beginning of seeing some major changes like this, right?
Yeah, so Propy, I guess, uses the blockchain, right, for the transaction, right, for like
Yeah.
to just have everything go through the blockchain right away. I don't understand it though fully, to be honest with you. I'm saying that, but it's above my pay grade. What does that mean? Because you could send a contract via email and it goes right away too.
Yeah. If I could, let me read this little part from, I got this from Inman News, this piece, when we were researching earlier. It says the company aims to create a, quote, Amazon-like property marketplace on the internet, where properties can be bought and sold easily and securely. Of course, everyone wants that. But it's promising up to a 25% reduction in transaction fees for buyers that use the platform. So here's my question. NAR's invested in this. You and I are invested in NAR with our yearly dues.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want that? Like, are we, I guess I'm saying is, I'm, me, I've been on record many times on this show over the last year saying, like, I love technology. I love the future of things. I love the way things are changing. And yet I'm going to ask the question today, do we want NAR investing in things like this that would actually go around the real estate agent?
Yeah. Like what, and then drastically reduce their fees.
Mm-hmm.
So you're drastically, like, what fees are you drastically reducing?
Well, if it's a buyer's fee,
Transaction fees.
At the end of the day, no matter whose fees you reduce, guess who's that's going to cost money to, right? The service providers.
Yeah, I guess it's great for the consumer, right? And
Yeah.
So talk to me about this, because this whole concept befuddles me a bit. Of like NAR, I always assume, okay, we pay dues, and those dues go to pay lobbyists to fight, anti-realtor legislation and shit like that. You know what I mean? And they go to, make those realtor commercials you see on TV. Don't use any agent, use a realtor, right? They go to that to promote the benefits of a realtor versus a non-realtor, which, quite frankly, I've been in business, over 30 years. I don't think I've ever met a agent that wasn't a realtor, but maybe I just didn't know. But I don't want to get sidetracked. But so why are they investing in companies? Like, wouldn't that be like, okay, we're taking your dues, and we got all these extra money with your dues, and then we're going to buy some stock with it and gamble with it. And if it goes up, then great. If it goes down, then we spent all your guys' money. Sorry. Hopefully next year we'll be better at picking small company. I don't get it. Like, help me.
Man. I mean, I could go off on this, Pat. Like, here's the deal. Like, is there a pension plan I don't know of? Like, is there a fund that I signed? I'm sure we gave permission somehow, right? We signed away our rights. But I'm going, okay, why are we investing in this stuff, as NAR? And then secondly, like, I got to be honest now, I'm not against investing. I love investing. It's one of my favorite things to talk about. And I don't want NAR picking winners and losers because, dude, they can't even pick a logo without screwing that up. Like, remember that debacle last year? Like, they spent a couple $100,000 on a new logo, rolled it out in 48 hours, unrolled it, and said, okay, we're going to stick with the original logo after they spent a few. I just don't want those people
Who does
in charge.
That? I mean, you go to 99 Designs for $4.99 or something.
Exactly.
The best logo in the world. I mean, 200,000. I mean, yeah. I mean, just and what happens? What happens if, let's say, Propy, which again, is a blockchain company. I mean, there's a million of them out there, but I guess they're better than the others. I don't know. I haven't investigated it, but let's say Propy goes public and we 15x our investment. Let's say NAR, which is us, dues paying members, invested $1 million. They make 15 million, right?
Where does it go?
Yeah, who gets that?
Yeah, like, am I going to get like 5 free years? Like, what's going to happen? Like, that's a fair question, isn't it? Like, what happens to the profits when we do hit a home run, or even just make some money? Doesn't even have to be a home run, I guess. But man, listen. I'm all about the future. I love what's happening in this world, for a lot of ways. But man, I don't think I want NAR investing my dues and taking chances with my money. I'd be okay if this was the leadership investing their own money at NAR. I'm not so sure about them investing my money. And
and they've had some bad investments. This I found an older article on Inman. It says one of their investments, RPR, is a drain on NAR finances. Database once expected to be profitable, generating very little revenue. A national property database, has cost NAR, and this is old. This is like 5 years old. It cost them $58 million at the time. I don't know. If you look on the website, let me just read these off and tell me if you've heard of these. These are the companies that they have given money to. Obviously, lots of money. No, I'm not just talking, a little money, right? Number one, DocuSign, right? Everyone, I mean, that good investment. I wish I had done that. Let me just read. There's so many of them. DocuSign, FundWell, ZipLogix with an X, RPR, which is the one the article said was a loser, Updater, Centralock, that's lock boxes, SEO Suite, Workface, Deductor, BombBomb, DeskTime, iUmentus Social, SendHub, Reach 150, WeVideo, SmartZip, heard of that one, PlanWise, Back at Ya Media, X, Selligent, and of course Realtor.com. So, okay, so these are the 20 or so, right? Like, do you know of any of these? Have you tried any of these? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I have used some of those. It's funny. I actually like RPR. I use it quite often.
What is it? This is an old article, so it's quite frankly, certainly they could have turned that sucker around, and I never even heard of it. What is it?
It's I'm going to probably butcher this, Pat. Like, you can do an automated CRM or CMA as well. It creates a bunch of different reports for neighborhoods and properties, which what I like is it puts together really nice looking data sets about neighborhoods and really surrounding areas. So obviously I'm never relying on any sort of automated value for looking for what a home may sell for or may be worth in today's market. However, it is good to help me understand what else is going on in the area statistically. And so I love RPR for that, because it's a couple clicks and there are a bunch of different reports. They look nice in case you're going to share it with somebody else. So I like RPR. I use it a lot. But I think everybody's used DocuSign,
right? So like, are we misquestioning their intent? Is their intent to, like, hey, we're going to give money to these companies so they can make Kevin Kaufman's life as a real estate agent better, because now he has RPR and DocuSign and BombBomb, where before he might not have had those?
Yeah, I don't think I need NAR for that. I just don't see them as that. So I was looking too, because this got me. This really got me thinking. Like, so NAR did make $20 million from the DocuSign IPO. Like, they cashed out $20 million.
Oh, I'm glad you found that. Okay.
And so,
good job.
But here's the deal, though, man. What they proposed, this was last year, right? But they also proposed like a $30 increase, which was a 25% jump in our annual dues. And so, hold on a second. At the same time, we just made $20 million on a winner. You're going to also now start charging me more, and you're going to use this annual spending for political advocacy. Like, what the hell does that mean? Like, so you're going to just go lobby more? Okay, great. But tell me more about that. I just don't understand NAR investing dues, due paying members money. I just don't get it. I'm not comfortable with it. Something about it doesn't sit right.
What's up, brokers, team leaders, office managers, and rainmakers of teams? I got a question for you today. What are the two most frustrating things about running a real estate team? The two things that cause you more headaches than anything else. Think about it. The brokers I've talked to have all given me the same answer: recruiting and retention. If you're in the same boat, if nothing you've tried seems to work, I've got some good news. Your problem finding, recruiting, and retaining high-quality agents are about to be over. I'm launching my new Retoot course, a course that provides an in-depth, first-ever look at the recruiting and retention secrets of the industry's top recruiters. To kick off Retoot's launch, I'm offering the course along with two other high-value items at a super low price to podcast listeners. Since I'm throwing in two free items with my Retoot Secrets course, I'm going to simply call it my 1-2-3 discount package. Okay, so let me talk to you about the 1-2-3 discount package. In addition to Retoot, you're going to get a subscription for each of your teammates or anybody in your office to my Big Profit weekly jackpot emails, which are basically agents from around the world giving advice on how to increase your profit on a daily basis in this business. If your agents put these effective, easy to implement tips to use, their sales and most importantly, their profits will improve. Plus, I'll provide you with a year's worth of monthly sales meetings, content to have at your sales meeting, so you don't have to struggle figuring out what to say to your agents or your team. I'm calling it my Lunch and Learn sales training series. That's an entire year's worth of sales meetings that you won't have to plan and that your agents are guaranteed to get massive value from. So to recap, purchasing the 1-2-3 discount package gets you 1, my brand new Retoot course; 2, my Big Profit Agents weekly jackpot emails for everybody in your office; and 3, a year's worth of Lunch and Learn training sessions. If you want this limited time package, act fast and go to hibandigital.com/123. Real easy, hibandigital.com/123.
And obviously it's news to you and I, so shame on me for not paying attention to this before.
Yeah, I didn't know they did this. I mean, it's public. It's not private, like information. It's not secretive, right? So,
yeah.
And again, I'm sure their intent is, let me make Kevin's job easier by supporting these companies. And some of them are big name companies. Some of them, a lot of them I never heard of.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man. Again, leading back to this is something that would actually do away with a lot of people's jobs. Propy, if it were to take off, and NAR is investing in that. Like, I just wonder about, how does that line up with what else NAR has invested in and said they stand for? So just weird. I don't know.
I
Man.
know I've had several other, blockchain companies on my show. So it's certainly a competitive field, with trying to make the transaction on the blockchain. There's people doing it, right? Redfin is doing it with mortgage and title already.
Yep.
I guess maybe Propy might compete with that. It's inevitable that the whole thing will be on the blockchain. It only makes sense. It's just, I don't know. They might see something special in Propy. They also, invested last year, I guess, in Notarize, which basically is the same idea as trying to streamline the process, which DocuSign did, streamline the process. Everything's about streamlining the process so that you don't have to physically be there with a notary for a settlement. You can have a notary notarize something via FaceTime, right? Or Zoom or Skype or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's pretty cool, right? Because it's no longer like, oh, you need to show up at the title company to sign documents, right? It's like today's busy world. You could do that sucker right on your phone and buy a house.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And again, I would love to think like you're saying, maybe this is all about making our lives easier and better. There's obviously been some winners in there. And again, I just don't know about them investing my dues. Like, where's my pension plan?
Yeah, really. I mean, at the end of the day, they should be giving all realtors a pension, especially if all these hit, right? Let's say all 20 of these, man, hit, 20X, right? There's some money there, Jack. I mean,
yeah. Speaking of money, you all right if we move on here for a second?
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, I don't understand enough about this to keep talking about.
I'm not sure either one of us do.
Yeah.
But speaking of money, Dave Liniger in the news again, buying back about $7 million worth of RE/MAX stock personally over the last few weeks or so.
Yeah,
that over a couple transactions. I mean, whoa! Like we saw Ryan Schneider go personally buy up a bunch of Realogy stock, but Dave Liniger has now gone and bought a bunch of stock of RE/MAX as well, and that like to the tune of $7 million. That's big money. I wonder. I kind of wonder what that's about. Is that anytime a CEO does that, or I guess he's not technically the CEO anymore. He's the founder, probably chairman of the board. But anytime I see someone like that do that, I wonder, first thing that goes to my mind, okay, are they just trying to show like a vote of confidence to the marketplace? Or do they go, you know what, here's a chance where I can take back a piece of my company at a good price. And then I believe in the future, whether that's 3, 5, 10 years from now, like that's going to pay off for me as an actual investment because I took back some of my company at an optimal price. What that is, I don't know.
Well, I think, no, absolutely. I think that if you, Liniger started this thing a long time ago. So, if you've had the stock for that long and you see it drop, and it's dropped, I mean, it was, I think the 52-week high is $57 and it's dropped down to $32 or something like that roughly. And so it's plummeted, let's say. Let's see. Let me get this straight. Yeah, 56.77 is the high last 12 months, and 27.84 is the low. So I would call that a plummet. RE/MAX stock has plummeted in the last 12 months, and he's like, hey, I'm going in, and it does draw attention because you and I are giving it attention, right? I mean, so it draws all attention to it, and there's other people say, maybe I should follow RE/MAX stock. And maybe I should buy it. And but at the same time, of course, right, he's going to do this, right? Because of course he's going to have belief because he had belief when he was writing the business plan on a napkin. Of course he's going to have belief now when there's 100,000 people working there. So if anybody has belief, Dave Liniger has belief. Whether the reasons behind the plummet of RE/MAX stock are legit or not is hard to tell. It is a good possibility that people just are not, into real estate stocks right now. You know what I mean? Like they're seeing it as, hey, we're in the 9th inning. I don't think investing in a real estate company stock is a good thing. I mean, even the EXP is down, right?
Yeah, well, they've been back up the last week or two, but they've taken a hit. We've seen, I think you're right, Pat, around this kind of feel for I'll call it the brokerage side of real estate, where Wall Street, if you will, is a little down on them, and obviously, Mr. Liniger believes in his company. Why wouldn't he? As you mentioned, he started it. He's the guy that wrote the business plan on the napkin to begin with, so he should. This is a vote of confidence. But all the stuff that we've seen now, when it comes to brokerages stocks in the last few months, it's typically not good news, and with maybe the exception of Redfin, but they're not your typical brokerage, even though they do have some traditional brokerage aspects. Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's really interesting. I like it personally. Again, I know I said I always wonder what this means, but I got to believe that this means Mr. Lineker believes in his company, as well he should. But will the street believe in it, and will that pay him a dividend and a return for it over the next few years? Only time tells, I guess.
Well, everything's kind of down too. I just looked up EXP is down. Was as high as 19. It's been as low as 6. Now it's at like 10. So that would plummet proportionately to Remax. Redfin, I don't know where you're getting your information from, but Redfin, 52-week high on Redfin. 2601 trading now at they're looking like $18.
Yeah, 18 bucks today.
And their low this year was 13.50, so they dropped in half at one point. Everything's all these real estate company public stocks, as far as I can tell, are getting crushed, So it's not just Remax, and then I guess at the end of the day, if you're an investor, you got to decide if I'm going to roll the dice on a sector, right? Am I going to roll the dice on a sector called real estate brokerages? Which, quite frankly, most real estate brokers are struggling to profit. The profit sucks nowadays, so unless you're getting technology, unless you got new technology, you got mortgage, you got title, you got all that stuff bringing in revenue streams, and you're massively growing, maybe I shouldn't roll the dice. Maybe I'll put it in another field. Maybe I'll put it in cannabis, or maybe I'll put it in, technology, or put it in value stocks and just buy Walmart. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, those are the choices that the people buying stocks have.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, it's a volatile time, no matter what industry, that's for sure. I look at Realogy, here they are still turning a pretty big profit. Of course, they're straddled with a lot of debt, which is what I think has got investors down on them. But they've got a lot of product lines too. It's not just the real estate brokerage. I think it has to do it's the flavor of the overall market. And like you said, Pat, maybe it's just like the whole sector is kind of taking a beating. The companies that aren't are, they're outside of real estate. But the truth is, what hasn't been volatile this year? Like darn near everything has. You look at the S&P, it's been up, it's been down. Sometimes just based on damn news cycles. So who knows? It'll be interesting. I think. Here's the deal. If I'm an agent with Remax and I see that Mr. Lineker has done this, like, I got to go, okay, that's a good move. I like that. That makes me feel better if I pay attention to the news at all, or financial markets. But here's the truth, man. You and I have talked about this multiple times off air. The reality is, as a real estate professional, whether you work for one of these big publicly traded companies or you work for a private company, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't impact your ability to go out and help people buy and sell real estate. It doesn't impact your job. It doesn't, I never think about the stock price on my way to.
Don't think about it. I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you could think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox. And it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. Hey, real estate agents and rock stars. If you're getting value out of the content in this episode, make sure you like the video and subscribe to this channel. Also, click the little bell icon to be notified about upcoming episodes. And I would also love it if you left a comment and shared the most impactful tips and tactics you've learned from the knowledge shared in this episode, or even maybe make a suggestion requesting a topic of what you'd like to learn in future episodes. I welcome any feedback below. Now, back to the episode. They don't think about it. I mean, I'm looking at Realogy now, right? The 52-week high, $26. It's like $7. I mean, they're 52-week high, 25.08. Right now, 52-week low, $6.61. I mean, you're talking, 70% drop. But you're right. Like I was telling you a story before. I got friends in every freaking real estate franchise in the world, and my buddy had recently lost an agent to EXP, your company, and he was like, "What? I don't understand this bullshit. Look at that. Why would anybody?" They said they were getting stock options. Look at their stock; it's plummeted, 80% or something, or whatever it was, 50%, just like everybody else's. And I said to him, I said, "How's Remax's stock?" And he looked at it. He said, "Oh, damn! I didn't even pay attention to that." And I was like, "Well, there you go." I was like, my point behind this is that, everybody's down, but also my point is that agents do not pay attention to this. They don't. They would care. If you went to most Remax brokers in the country and been like, "Hey, man, sorry about your stock," they'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yeah, no, they would say, "I don't care. I don't own any." So, yeah, I mean, the truth is that the agents don't. I think sometimes you have agents at EXP who do, because there's options for us to get them for doing certain things. But at the end of the day, like I'm talking to a buyer or a seller, or I'm talking to another agent about joining my team. Like, it just doesn't come up, man. And it, like, not only does it not come up in conversation, it never approaches my mind or the thought of, hey, I should really address this. I had somebody, when EXP stock had hit a low earlier this year, I had a friend of mine at another company who sends me a message. He said, "Hey, did leadership there at your company address the giant, the big dip in the share price?" And I said, "No. This was a real estate event that I was at. Why would they do that?" They said, "Well, because, you guys are publicly traded. Why shouldn't they?" And I said, "Because this was a real estate event. We were talking about helping people buy and sell real estate. We're not talking about
they probably did somewhere, maybe, or maybe not. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, I guess here's the thing, right? Nobody is going to, it's going to be more difficult to have these stock prices go back up until, like, a real estate company comes out and is big. This is how we are going to make more money as a brokerage. Yeah. So many of these companies are focused on how we can give back to the agent and make the agent more money. None of them are being, and greed is a bad word, but none of them are being greedy enough to be like, dude, we need to make money ourselves. We're getting crushed. Right. And our stock price is being crushed. And unless you got some technology, or you got some other way to make more profit as a brokerage, then you're going to continue to see this probably. I don't know. Maybe
they should just follow NAR suit and invest in the companies NAR is.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. Right. I mean, really, if you think about it. But most companies are private, so
it's crazy. It's crazy times, man. I think that I hadn't thought about this way, but when you just said that, Pat, what it made me think about is the way you grow in a shift or in a down market is by being able to maintain your business, and so you grow market share. And I can't help but wonder if the brokerages are kind of at that point of like, hey, we've got to protect and maintain, so that way as the the market cap shrinks for everyone else, we actually end up with a greater percentage of it. And on the next run up, we're positioned to go out and really explode.
Well, that's kind of what happened with Compass, right? I mean, like last year they were paying 3.5 times company dollar to agents, right? Where like, if you're on an 80-20 split and you were 20% of your split was going to Century 21, they would give you 3.5 years of that, of your yearly split or whatever, right? So up front, they were buying these agents and then they pulled back, right? They're like, nah, we're not going to do that anymore. It's time to conserve the war chest, you know what I mean? And have some money in the bank. So yeah, you can grow your agent by agent, but at the same time, it costs money to do that. So
Yeah.
it's a double-edged sword. So anyways, all right, so let's move on. What else we got? What else we want to cover today?
Man, I feel like that was about it in this. Oh, you know what? No, you and I were talking. This caught my eye, and I've seen it now 2-3 times in the last month. Not the specific one, but this one was called Deal Machine, it's essentially the Uberization of bird dogs, right? So you've got people out in this gig economy, if you will. Maybe they're Uber drivers, maybe they're the Amazon drivers or the Lyft drivers, where they can kind of schedule themselves, and they're out driving around neighborhoods. And let's face it, the trained eye can see an opportunity in a neighborhood when a home could potentially be a great investment deal or even just a listing for a realtor. And so there's now these services. Deal Machine is the one that hopped off the page at me, where for a small monthly fee, I want to say Deal Machine's $49 a month, you can pay this company, and they've got drivers all around a couple of these cities that they operate in who are like dropping pins and exposing you as the investor to potential deals in a neighborhood.
I think the way it works is basically like it's basically supplying you with the owner of a property's name, address, email, cell phone, whatever, really fast and really easy in an app, so that that's for decades we've been able to find that, right? Kevin Kaufman drives by a shitty house with overgrown weeds, and you're like, ooh, right, this person may want to sell. Let me call them. Well, then I got to pull up the address in the tax records. It probably has the person's name. Then I got to plug the person's name into some other service that's going to give me, some information about him. Maybe it's free. Maybe it's, bait and switch. And then they try to sell me his personal information for $9.99 or whatever. Then I get that, and then I call him, right? There's a lot of steps to this process, where here, basically you put the information in, you put the address in, and it gives you the person's name, email address, whatever. And then you could just instantly send them a text and be like, hey man, I'm outside of your house. The grass hadn't been cut in a while. I'm looking to buy a property in the neighborhood. Would you be interested in selling this? And then you could click another button, and this company will start them on a postcard campaign or a letter campaign or whatever you have it set up with. So it's a cheap, easy way to streamline the process. And I think what you're going back and saying is, was interesting, and I read that article too, is what's happening is Uber and Lyft drivers are actually developing relationships with flippers and agents, where they will drive past a house with whether it has overgrown weeds, whether it has like a parked car in front of it with no tires, that doesn't have a license plate, whether it has signs in the windows saying foreclosure, whatever, any indication that it's not being lived in currently, or the person, it may be in distress, and they're snapping a photo of it and snapping a photo of the address and sending it to the agent or investor, and the investor is Venmoing them $50. So it's like, if you listen to Bigger Pockets or any of these investment shows, one of the strategies is called driving for dollars, where as an investor, you just drive around and look for these things, and then you put up a note, right? You can even pay this Uber driver or Lyft driver to actually, put up a note for you that just says, hey, my name's Kevin, and I drove past your house. Call me. Here's my number. And for an extra fee, they'll tack that to the door of the person. So, and the Uber driver's driving through the neighborhood anyways, and so then you as the investor agent could then go to, what was the name of this company again that we're talking about?
Like Deal Machine?
Deal Machine. You go to Deal Machine and type in the person's information. Deal Machine gives you their cell number. You call them and be like, hey, my guy is out in front of your house now. Your guy happens to be an Uber driver. My guy's out in front of your house now. I see that, it looks like, you've lost interest or whatever. Would you be interested in selling? And I can vouch personally that these houses exist. I live in an area where there's a lot of beach homes that have been traded down generation to generation. And you could tell that the families in like Vermont, and they only come to the house once a year, if ever, and they let the grass grow and the weeds are all over the place. And I'm like, why is no one ever in this house? And you look it up, and the taxes are paid, right? But the house is paid off. And it's just like a family sort of deal that nobody uses. There's probably 50 of these things on my island. And so I could see how that would be a great person if I was interested in flipping on the island or selling on the island to start banging away at. Matter of fact, I know one of my neighbors, that's what he does. He builds houses, rents them out, Airbnb, and then he just goes after all these old houses that are owned by older people or families.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's just it's just a modern way of doing things the way they've been done, right? It's Uberizing and modernizing, if you will, bird dogging and looking for deals and making sure, it's no different. Like if you think about it, like as a real, what has me thinking is, why am I not in touch with every Uber driver or person I know that drives around for a living saying, listen, take a picture of any house that you see. Because I'm going to go, that looks like this. Cause it's for me, let's just say I don't want to invest. I do personally, but let's just say I didn't want to. It's a potential listing. Why am I not looking for that? This really has this has my real estate agent brain thinking and going like, we should be looking at how we use this as realtors. And in fact, I can tell you right now, I'm going to go execute on that later today.
There you go. So, and NAR should invest in this one.
Oh man, that's a good one. That joke's probably not going to get old for a while.
All right, cool, man. Well, that's great, buddy. Well, always great catching up with you. I look forward to catching up with you again next week, and good luck selling this week.
Right on, man. You too, Rockstar Nation. Have a good one, and we will see you soon.
See you soon, guys, and feel free to reach out to us on Next Level Agents or on YouTube, Real Estate Rockstar Radio, and leave your comments.
Thanks for tuning into the State of the Market podcast with your host, Pat Hyben and Kevin Kaufman.
All right, thank you for listening to State of the Market, a creation of Real Estate Rockstars. Hey, everybody, if you want to comment on what you just heard, the best place to comment, for whatever reason, culturally, it appears the best place to comment is YouTube. Yeah, just go to YouTube and type in Real Estate Rockstars Radio, and you could comment right there, no holds barred.